Hi, third grade. Today we're going to continue on with Unit 12, Week 1, and move on to Day 2. So repeat after me. E, ed, eh. E, a, bread, eh. C-H, chin, ch. T-C-H, catch, ch. J, jug, j. C, cat, k. A-N-G, fang, ang. I-N-G, ring, ing. O-N-G, song, ong. U-N-G, lung, ung. Great work. Now let's listen up to our new concept of today.
We are in Day 2 of Week 1, Unit 12. And I have really enjoyed working with you all this year. You guys are just, you're going to go to 4th grade really knowing a lot about the English language. So today what we're going to talk about is marking words and thinking about that change of C that will say S and G that will say J. So we're going to make just a little mark above them just to remind ourselves of what sound they make. All right, so help me read this first word here. Concentrate. Concentrate. We have to do that in our lives, don't we? Especially at school. So let's look at this first C. What kind of a sound does it make? Yeah, it makes a k sound. So I'm going to put a K in brackets. What about this sound? Sen. Yeah, that's going to make an S sound. So what are the letters? What are the vowels that make that C say S? Yeah, E, I, and the vowel Y, exactly. So we're just going to talk about that a little bit more today, and we're going to do some more words. And you may know the meaning, you may not know the meaning, but we'll keep working on that. So let's scoop this one. Embrace. Embrace. You can embrace an idea, or you can embrace a friend or a relative, or just somebody you love. You just hug them, and that's another word for embrace. So no spelling options there. Brace. What's going to happen with this? Yeah, that's going to make that S sound. So we're just going to go ahead and mark that just to kind of help us remember that. So we're going to do a few more words, guys. And this one is somebody's name. You may know somebody with this name. So let's scoop it. Whoops. Cindy. Cindy. Do you know anybody by the name of Cindy? It's sort of an old-fashioned name, actually. So what is the C doing here? Right, it comes before that I, so we know that's going to make that sound. No spelling options here, right? Y, the E sound at the end of a 2 or more syllable word, it's going to say E. So everything else follows a pattern or a rule, right? Here's something I've never seen, but I've read about them before. In the BFF, if you've ever read The Big Friendly Giant, it's a great book. Let's scoop this word. Giant. Giant. This is kind of a schwa, right? We don't say giant. So that we can mark that as a schwa. What is that G doing before that I? Yeah, it's making that J sound, right? So we can just put that right up there just to help us remember. Okie doke. So here's a word that we all know a little bit about. Maybe you know a lot about it and probably would like to go up in one. So let's go ahead and scoop this word. Spacecraft. Spacecraft. That's a compound word, isn't it? Those are 2 words put together, and they each have a word by themselves. So let's look at any spelling options here. That S, what's making it say S? Yeah, that E. So it's making an S sound, isn't it? What about the C here? Craft. That is making a K sound. Yeah, So we can have the same letter in a word and it's going to make two different sounds depending on what comes after it, right? All right, I've got another one here. This one actually has two spelling options. Let's read it together. Percent. Percent. You hear that word in math, right? That could be ERIR or UR, right? But it's ER. And what's that C doing? Yeah, it's making that S sound because it's coming before that E, right? Here's another word that has that spelling that we've been talking about. Let's go ahead and read this. Enforce. Enforce. When you enforce something like a rule, you make sure that it happens, right? Now, what is that C doing? It's making that S sound again. So we're going to put the S in the brackets, right? Just to kind of get ourselves used to this new rule. Here is something that I think you guys might be interested in. And you all are this to me. Let's scoop it. Magic. Magic. You all are like magic because you just have learned so many things this year. So if that follows the rule, right? It sound after a two or more syllable word, but what about that j? This is a little tricky because the I is in a different syllable, but it's still going to make that j sound. So guys, great job. Don't forget you can look things up in the dictionary. If you're not sure about the spelling, don't forget about those paper clips and limiting the amount of space you're going to look through. So have a great day.
All right, the next thing that we're going to do today is echo find letters and words. So go ahead and pull out your magnetic tile board, please. Okay, the first thing I want you to do is point and pull away what says S. What always says S. Everybody should be pulling S snake S, right? That always says that. What are we learning in Unit 12? That sometimes says S. Right. Also, C. Very good. And it's important that C only says S when it's followed by a what? I'm putting a parentheses here. An E, or what else? I, or a Y. Okay, so when you write in Unit 12, when you write the sounds for S, right now you're going to just write S, comma, C, and then you're going to, after the C, you have to put in parentheses EIY, okay, with commas in between, because that is when the C says S. Got it? All right, go ahead and put away your S, put away your C, and now tell me what says J always. Right, J, jug, J. What sometimes says J? Correct, G. Now think about what we learned for S and how we're going to mark those sounds. J, comma, G. When does G say J? When it's followed by an E, I, it's taking me a minute, or a Y. That's a comma. Okay, very good. Okay, so this is how, for now, that is how you will mark the sounds for S and J when you write them on a dictation dry erase or a dictation composition. Deal? All right, let's just real quick try and make a few words. You ready? And if you need to use your spelling options book, I hope you have your spelling options section open in your student notebook. All right, so our first word is cycle. Say it. Cycle. The water cycle is always happening around us. Water cycle, just cycle. So we have a S, that's an option, right? Sigh. That could be another option. We know it's a vowel. Is it going, what things could say I at the end of a syllable? It could be I, it could be Y. And in this case, I will tell you it's a Y. So cycle. It's a consonant K, L-E. Very good. Okay, now take a look at our mystery letter. We should be getting very good at this. Is it followed by an E? Is this mystery letter followed by an E-I or Y? Yes, it is. So what's going to make the S sound there? It's not going to be S. Right. C says S when followed by an E-I or Y. Excellent. And here's what I mean when I say we should be practicing. We should be practicing looking them up and getting faster, faster, faster. On page 45, CY. It's right here. Proof that you can be 1000% confident when you spell that word. All right. So you have a C, you have a Y. You don't have another C, so I'm guessing you used a blank tile, correct? Okay. And you do not have an L currently, so you used another blank, but you have an E. Don't do anything until you have that pattern for the word cycle. C-Y, C-L-E, cycle. All right, go ahead once you have it and clean up that word, and we'll get to the next one. All right, our next word is going to be pace. Say it, pace. When you're running a race, you want to try to keep a good, steady pace. All right, so P, I don't think that's a question. You don't have that consonant on your board, so just pull a blank. What vowel sound? Long P, A. Now we have that S sound option, but what's making this A long? Right, silent E. Okay, so let's take a look at our mystery letter now. Is it followed by an E-I or Y? So what's making this sound in the word pace? You're right, it is a C. Okay, so we have a long vowel, silent E, and what kind of syllable type is this? It is a vowel dash E. Very good. I'm just marking it to practice. Now, is this one in your student notebook in your spelling options? Let's see. It's the first one under this column. So yes, on page 51, there it is, 1000% confident with pace. P-A-C-E. You should only have one blank tile representing the consonant P there at the beginning now. All right, once you have it built, then you may go ahead and clean up that one. Let's get ready for our third word. Okay, I have it. Stage. Say it. Stage. People who perform in a play often perform on a stage. So what's our blend? St, st. Yeah, that's st. When it's a blend, you know it's followed by a T. That's not really a question. It can't be a C followed by a T. It doesn't work. Stage. We have long A, but here our spelling option is the J sound, right? Stage. What's making that A say A, its long name? Right, a silent E at the end. All right, so we know we have st, and you have an S, but you do not have a T, so you probably have a blank. You have an A, and is this mystery followed by an E-I or Y? So what's saying the J sound? All right, that G is saying J now. Okay, this is a silent E though, and this too is what kind of a syllable? Yeah, it's a vowel. You can see the pattern. Vowel, consonant E with that long vowel. Okay, so yours probably looks like, let me see, S blank because you don't have a T, A, you have a G now, and you have an E. So stage. Make sure it looks like that, and then you may clean it up. We'll do one more word. The last word I want us to build, short one, gem. Say it, gem. He was acting like such a gem today. J, there's our mystery. Eh, E, gem. This is a pretty easy, short one. Is that mystery letter being followed by an E, I, or Y? Yeah, it's a short E, but it's still an E. So you can tell this is what kind of syllable? Closed. What is saying J? It's G when it's followed by an E, I, or Y. Excellent work. All right. You have everything except for the M. You'll have a blank there at the end, right? G, E, M, gem. Awesome. All right. Do me a favor and clean up all of your letter tiles and put the whole letter tile board away. The last thing we're going to do today is learn some new sound-alike words. So keep that student notebook out. Okay, take a look at our first brand new sound-alike word. Do you think this is kel? No, it's followed by an E, I, or Y, so it's cell. Now you might be thinking of a cell phone, but here is the definition of a cell. This is a sciencey word. A tiny organism inside a living person, animal, or plant. So yeah, any living thing has cells inside of it. Now they're so tiny you can't see them with your eye, but you can see them under a microscope. You have blood cells, you have all kinds of different things that make up your body and help it function. Okay, so in your student notebook, go to your sound alike section and you will find CELL on page, I believe it's 94. What page? 94. And then let's pause the video and copy down this definition. A tiny organism inside a living person, animal, or plant. Go ahead and do that now, please. Okay, now let's talk about a good signal to help us remember this one. Well, we know they're teeny tiny, so what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that we're looking in a microscope, like we're a scientist. We're looking in the microscope and we're looking at, it could be a leaf, it could be a sample of blood under a microscope, and you'd be able to see all of the cells moving around inside of a living thing. Okay, so CELL. Spell it again with me. Go. CELL. Show me the signal. Look inside a microscope. You can hold your hand here like I'm doing and look at it. Great work. All right, let's check out our next sound-alike word. This one is also pronounced cell, right? But this is a tricky one. Spell this cell with me. Go. SELL. Good. And I think you know what this one is. Let's see. Giving something to another person for money. Okay. So if you flip to page 105, what page? 105 in your notebook, take a moment and next to SELL, copy down this definition. Giving something to another person for money. Go ahead. Now, sell is the opposite of another sound-alike word that we've had this year. What is it? Buy. And I think for buy, we did hand over the money, grab your package. Okay, we were handing over the money, grabbing the package. But for sell, we have to hand over. Actually, usually if you sell something, you take the money first. So go like this. Remember, this is our signal for money. Take the money, and then you give them your good. Okay, whatever it is. Could be like Mark, his baseball cards. Who knows? All right, let's move forward to our next sound-alike word. My favorite of all the sound-alike words we've done this year. This word is peace. Say it. Peace. Let's spell it. Peace. Peace. Okay, so let's look at this definition. When there are no activities or loud noises, there is peace. Okay. On page 102, go ahead and copy down what page? 102. 102. Copy down next to PEACE this definition: when there are no activities or loud noises. Go ahead. This signal is also one of my favorites. We're going to meditate and find our inner peace. PEACE. Good work. Okay, the last sound alike word, you may have seen it when I accidentally clicked earlier, but it is also peace. Spell this one with me: PIECE. Excellent. Here's the definition: an object that is a part of something else. So look over next door on page 103 and go ahead and copy this definition: an object that is a part of something else. Go ahead. And I couldn't help myself but think of a piece of pizza. So I'm going to pretend that I have a pizza and I take a piece and eat it. Okay? A piece of pizza. You take it from the hole and eat your piece of it. Okay, now in the bottom corner on page 103, our last thing today is to play a very quick game of guess which one. So, right kind of beside principal and plain on that same page as peace, PIECE, down here, just number 1, 2, 3. That's it. Okay, and we'll get ready for a game of guess which one. Okay, sentence number 1. The princess requested peace in the kingdom. Which peace did you hear in that sentence? Write it down next to number 1. The princess requested peace in the kingdom. Which one? I think she requested calm, right? Everyone get along. Peace. Let's all spell that answer together. Go. PEACE. Awesome. All right, number 2. This is a piece of brick from the crumbling wall. This is a piece of brick from the crumbling wall. Which piece is used in that sentence? Yeah, it sounds like a part of something, right? Almost like my piece of pizza. Okay, let's spell number 2 together. Go. PIECE. Excellent. All right, the last one. I must convince Dad that I can have a piece of candy. I must convince Dad that I can have a piece of candy. Which one? I think you know it. Go. PIECE. Excellent. All right, you can put all your Fundations materials away. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye.